It's week 2 of the Guinness Six Nations, and this episode is brought to you by Isuzu again. It's not Isuzu, it's Isuzu. IS. See what I've done there? So thank you to them again, and a big shout out. Right, so the biggest game. The big one is the Ireland-Wales game. The biggest game, of course, because I'm Scottish. I was going to say Scottish hero. It nearly rolled off the tongue. I'm not. It would be a joke anyway for all you haters out there if I called myself a Scottish hero. But I kind of am. Legendary status in England, but I'm from Scotland. I don't know if you get that. Anyway, Scotland-England. Wowzers, wowzers, wowzers. Because of the narrative around it and the narrative of the last 2 seasons. It's coming home. It's coming home. That's all anyone ever says who's English. The Calcutta Cup ain't coming home. For 2 years, it ain't been home.
It's been over 1,000 days since we've had the Calcutta Cup.
Rob is the oracle behind the lens, and he knows. He absolutely knows that it's been anything with 1,000 in front of it, even if it's 1,000 hours, is a long time. It's been over 1,000 days.
That's what I read.
1,000 days. It ain't coming home. But it might. You never know. Scotland-England, biggest game, as a Scotsman, on the calendar. Can't get away from it. And there's a lot of debate around this, and why is this? History. It's history. And if we're honest, in recent years, England have been one of the best teams in the world. And in this encounter, they have been the better team. Up until 2 years ago, where England came up to Murrayfield in fantastic form, and Scotland blitzed them. And they had the celebrations after, and they're all on social media of singing the anthem. Greg Laidlaw with his shirt off, tie around his head, Finn Russell as well. Rightly so. Fair play to them. There's a fierce old rivalry there, and England haven't respected Scotland in recent years. I remember I was playing, Chris Ashton used to say, "Mate, you shite, mate, you shite, mate." And I blitzed him into the back of back into the ruck, and he had to go off injured. But you only have to look at last year's game, which is arguably one of the best games as rugby fans we've probably ever witnessed in the professional era. England are winning 32-0. Stuart McInally, charge down try. They go into the sheds, 32-7 at half-time. Hope I've got the score lines right. Anyway, Scotland are winning the game with 2 or 3 minutes to go. Forward scores a try under the sticks to level it. In my book, we won it. We meaning Scotland. And the Calcutta Cup is still in Edinburgh. It's still there. And I think we're in for another treat of the week. Who's the favourites going into this game? We don't know. England, I was disappointed with them against France, albeit France very good. And there's a lot of issues around the England team. Are they issues? They're not issues. Selection debates around Eddie Jones, and is he picking the best team? Should Farrell be playing 10? Should Ford be playing 10? Either way, the Ford-Farrell axis doesn't work. But Eddie Jones took England to a final. Let's not forget, took them to a final, absolutely demolished the All Blacks with that combination. So who are we to judge? There's an issue at 8 that we'll come on to as well. I think Scotland, right? I think Scotland are going to do it again.
Do the Scotland squad dust off the old history books and start using historical traumas to rev them up, or is that something of the past?
Oh, Braveheart will be played. Braveheart will be played. If you're talking history and real historic trauma, Braveheart's played the night before. But this Scotland team have got to look forward, right? Against Ireland, they were brilliant, I thought, and could have, should have, would have if it weren't for Paul Hoggy dropping the ball over the try line. It could have been a different story. But you can only go based on the performance. Gregor Townsend made some really ballsy decisions in the back row with Nick Haining playing, who played really well. Rory Sutherland at loosehead. Hugh Jones at 13, who's been out of form in the lead up to the season, but actually this season's played really well. No Finn Russell again. Adam Hastings at 10. So he's made some big decisions that actually against Ireland paid off. But this is the week. The atmosphere at Murrayfield is going to be absolutely rocking. England are wounded because they got demolished. Don't let the scoreline flatter you against France. They got demolished against the French, a young French team. And there's questions in the team. There's no Manu Tuolangi. Who's going to pick at 8? I mentioned we'll come on to that. I don't know. They're in a weird place at the minute. And this is Scotland's biggest game. We've showed that over the last 2 years. So my prediction is it's coming home. Not to England. It's staying in Scotland. Come on, Scotland. And I'm Scottish. I do like the English. I've got some good friends there. Played in England. Got an English accent. But I really, really hope I do. I'm a fan. I can say that. I don't care, you haters out there. I want Scotland to win this game, and I think this year I'm not deluded. They genuinely can win, and they might not. I don't know. Who knows? Scotland by 9. Englishman?
I'd honestly say Scotland, but by 1.
Scotland by 1.
Something like that.
Still Scotland, though. Scotland by 1 or 101. Doesn't matter.